all about growing your leadership and multiplying your influence in business, ministry, and life. Our mission is simple. We're just crazy about turning your potential into purpose and growing your influence. And now, your host, Obed Martinez.
Hey, welcome to episode number 5. Listen, today is going to be awesome. Why? Because today is Winning Wednesday. And if nobody this week didn't tell you you're a winner, I'm going to tell you, you are, matter of fact, the ultimate champion, man. Listen, there is nothing that can conquer you. Well, hey, today's podcast is sponsored by Preferred Services, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. I love their saying, old-fashioned service, customer preferred. Great owners, great leaders. So if you are looking for any air conditioning and plumbing needs, Preferred Services is our choice. Well, hey, I'm excited today because today is part 1. I will continue it on Friday, but we have been in this whole team building week. And I talked to you on Monday that in order for you to build the greatest dream team, you have to first become the ultimate team member. You cannot build a team if you are not the ultimate team member. And what we're going to talk about today is creating a dream team, because at the end of the day, you will never accomplish the dreams in your life all by yourself. Listen to me. Let me say that one more time. You are never going to conquer the dreams in your life all by yourself. Just think about this. Jesus comes on the scene, the Word becomes flesh, and you would think 100% God, 100% human. The same God who created the heavens and the earth is now in a human flesh on earth. And the question you would ask is, why in the world would this man need a team to build a dream? Well, at the end of the day, God believes in teams. Matter of fact, when he created the heavens and the earth, all three were present: God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. When Jesus was getting ready to start his ministry, the first thing he did was he went out and he built his team. Because at the end of the day, Jesus is letting us know that we can have tremendous leadership skills. We can have incredible insight and foresight. We can have creative and innovative ideas. But the truth is that if we don't have people helping us carry that, you are never going to get there. Matter of fact, what separates an employee and an employer is a team builder. I'm going to say that again. What separates an employee and an employer is a team builder. Managers got to know how to build teams. Employees don't need to. They can be assigned a job, sit at a desk and do it. And they can get paid. But if you're going to climb the ladder of success, there is one entity you better master, and that is becoming a team builder. You will never be successful owning a company if you don't know how to build teams. You will never be a great manager over an organization if you don't know how to build teams. And so, friends, if you want to build your wealth, and you want to build your income, it will boil down to one skill, and that is, can you build others? And my friends, what I'm about to give you today and Friday, 10 keys on how to build a dream team. If you will marinate it, saturate it, pray about it in your life, build it inside of you, you will be in a different place this year, next year. One of the things that I have learned a lot about working with leaders, CEOs, potential CEOs, startup companies, when I coach these leaders, is that they have tremendous energy, passion, skill when it comes to what they do, but they have deficiencies in working with people, building other people. And when you become passionate and you begin to build your life around the fact that one day, if I'm going to be successful, I'm going to have to know how to coach people. I'm going to have to know how to build people. I'm going to have to know how to show people. I'm going to have to know those type of things. Friends, your life will get to the place of your dream if you just become a team member, a team builder. One of the greatest advices I got when I was a young man was that a great leader of mine, I said, what has made you a successful leader? And he says, Obed, I didn't even finish high school. I said, what? He says, I didn't even finish. I don't even have I got I went back and got my GED. And this man built an empire. And I'm like, how did you do it? He says, I just knew how to build teams. And he looked at me, I'll never forget. We were at a diner called Margot and Manny's. Best biscuits and gravy you could ever have. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget this, man. I was 16 years old, and he says, Obed, if you will specialize in building teams, you will go places your life never dreamed of. And friends, he wasn't wrong. If all you want to do is just barely get by and not have more than enough for your life, then don't learn how to build teams. But if you're going to be successful, you got to learn how to build teams. You see, at the end of the day, people often say, I'll know it when I see it. That's not good strategy. You need to say, I know it. Then I'm going to get others to see it. The goal is that you got to know yourself. Where are you going? Where are you taking people? What is it that you have in store for them? When you know it, then you can teach them to see it. But if you're sitting there saying, well, you know what, man, I'll see it when I believe it. No, guess what? You're just going to be like everybody else. What everyone is looking for is a leader that can point them into the direction that they want to go. And if you will know it, then you can teach them how to see it. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about the first 5. We'll continue the next 5 this coming Friday. But what do I need to do to create the ultimate dream team for my life, my business, my future business, wherever I am going? Number 1, you need to learn how to identify leaders. You need to learn how to identify leaders. In other words, find them so that you can develop them. Find them so that you can develop them. One of the questions I always get asked, especially when pastors come and they visit Destiny, they'll always take me to lunch or, coffee afterwards. We'll do kind of like a review after they hang out with the staff. And they always ask me the same question. Where did you find them? And I'm like, find who? Find your staff. Obed, they're amazing. And I'm like, I just didn't find them. I developed them. I pour my life into them and still do. See, they were just waiting for somebody. They had all the potential. They had all the skills. They had everything inside of them. And what takes greatness out of somebody who's just living in potential and not actually living in purpose is somebody that sees it in them and pulls it out of them. Someone who sees it in them and pulls it out of them. And so what you got to always be looking for is identifying leaders. Man, there's times I'm talking to people and I'm just in conversation and I will go to one of our staff people and I say, hey, this person that I was talking to, what are they doing? And they're like, oh, well, that person does it. I said, that's a leader right there. If I'm you, I'm going to pour my life into them. Why? Because great team builders know how to identify leaders. And when you identify leaders, you can begin to build them and make them just the same way Jesus did. Jesus was committed to finding leaders, identifying them. They didn't come to him. He actually went to them. When Jesus, after he was baptized in the wilderness for 40 days, what did he do? He shows up at the shores of Galilee. He sees these guys fishing and he tells them, drop their nets. They didn't find Jesus. Jesus went looking for them. And if you're going to be a great team builder and build that dream team to build a great company and to build a great life that God has promised you and God has showed you, it's going to take for you to sit there and go out and recruit and identify great leaders. Don't think they're going to come to you. The day will come when people will want to come work for you because you've already proven that you can build leaders. But if you're not there yet, friends, you need to go out every day. And as you are finding great business and great opportunity, you need to also identify the people that can carry those plans and those dreams out. And how do you do that? You got to identify who the leaders are. You got to invite them, and you got to incorporate within them the same things that had been given to you. We're always talking about product. We're always talking about production. But if you don't have those leaders to carry out, guess what? Your business is only going to grow to the size of your leadership. And your leadership expands when you pour your life into other people. Think about the creator of this world, Jesus. He influenced a region, but the 12 disciples shaped a nation. I'm going to say that again. Jesus just influenced a nation, a region when he was in flesh walking on earth, but his disciples shaped a nation. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you have team players, they go further and they go places you never will. And if you're only going to do it by yourself, then your lifestyle, your finances, your future is only going to have the ability to grow to the size of your leadership, not by the size of the teams that you can build to create more wealth, create more income, not just for yourself, but opportunity for them as well. So the first thing you got to do, that if you're going to build a dream team, is you got to be a master at identifying leaders. Number two, you got to attract leaders. You got to attract leaders. In other words, invite them to your leadership table. See, I'm sitting at a desk right now, but see, the size of this desk is only built for one person. And maybe today you don't have a business, but you have a dream of starting a business. Well, you're going to start at a desk. It's you. Write down your vision. Put your business plans together. But if you are a leader leading leaders, then you can invite your leaders to your desk, which means you got to create a table. And you got to bring those leaders to your table. In other words, the table is meant to attract potential leaders and find out if they will become great leaders. One of the great things that great leaders do is they're constantly inviting potential leaders to the table. Because at the end of the day, all people are looking for is an opportunity and a seat at the table. They can be given all kinds of opportunities. But if you offer them a seat at the table, when they are involved with decision making, involved with the creativity of where your company, your business, your future is going, listen, some other company can offer them something great. But what they can't offer is what you offered. And that is a seat at the table. Pastor Obed, how do I do that? Well, take your team, bring them into your decision makings, bring them into your creative meetings, bring them into the areas that in some sense have just been for just a few. Listen, every single week you should be inviting someone to your table, because the more ideas you get, the larger and broader your vision grows. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you, in some sense, are inviting people to the table, because most people, listen, they will have a vision statement, when it comes to these attractable leaders, but they don't have a value statement. And its values, as I taught you previously, that drives vision. And so when I bring people to the table, I don't need to teach them about business. I don't need to teach them about the church. They already know about it. I'm bringing someone to the table because I'm bringing them closer to me. I want them to see my values. I want them to see that I'm living outside of this office what I am living inside of this office. I'm the same person on the outside as I am on the inside. I'm that same person at the table, then as well as that person who's behind a pulpit. At the end of the day, bringing people close to you, they will begin to rub off of you. And guess what? Discipleship doesn't happen at a distance. You got to bring people close and give them a seat at your table. Hey, if you're just joining our Winning Wednesday episode number 5 podcast, we are talking about creating a dream team. We learned that you got to be the ultimate team member before you can actually build the ultimate team. And what we've learned so far is that if we're going to build this dream team, it starts with identifying leaders. Then it's attracting leaders. Number 3, it's understanding leaders. It's all about understanding leaders. In other words, connect with them before you lead them. Who wants to be led by a leader that's not connecting with them? You ought to connect with the people you are actually leading. Listen, if all you are doing is leading them when it comes to your business, to the production or the product that you're trying to get them to produce, but you're not trying to get to know their lives, then friends, they're going to be connected to you in business and not connected to you in life. There was a reason why Jesus, after they caught the fish, production, he sat down and ate with them, connection. He always connected even while they were producing. And friends, listen to me. People leave companies, but they don't leave leaders. I'm going to say that one more time. People will always leave companies, but they don't always leave leaders. People will bend their backs for you when they know you care more about them than you care about what they can produce. The goal is to not only identify and build. It's not only, bringing them to the table, but it's bringing them close enough that at the end of the day, you are connecting with them. You understand them. You understand what they're going through. You understand their patterns. You understand their problems. You understand their deficiencies. You understand their strengths. And if you want to be that leader that's going to grow a dream team, you have to begin with understanding leaders. And how do I do that? I don't connect with them and what they can do for us. I connect with them for what I want to do in them. I want to help them. I want to build them, because if I build the person, they will build the company. If I'm connected to the person, they're going to be connected to the vision. But if all you're doing is connecting them to your vision and not connecting them to you, then you're going to feel like you are running with your company's vision without even being connected to the leader that started with you in the first place. And I want to stop right here for a moment, because I feel that there's somebody right now that you're saying, man, Pastor, you are talking to me right now. I feel like I'm just producing for my company, but I'm not connected to the leader. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to have a truthful, honest conversation. Not an argument, but a conversation. You need to remind that leader that the reason why you jumped on their train was because they said that they will stay connected to you. I know what it's like to start off being connected with somebody, and then all of a sudden, you no longer feel connected because they will throw out things like, well, I don't need to talk to you as much because you already know. The truth is, if you're a leader that is saying that, that's not good. You need to remain connected to the people. If they know that you care about them, they will go out of their ways to build the dream that you placed inside of them. So you really got to understand how to connect with them. In other words, if you will sweat with them, they will always handle the heat. You never have to worry about your leaders handling the heat if you have already sweated with them. See, I want to make sure that I've sweated with my leaders so that when they're away and they're going through some heated moments, they know how to handle it. The reason why is because they've already sweated with me. We've already gone through some stuff. We've already conquered some things. At the end of the day, it's all about understanding leaders. The fourth thing you can do to build that dream team is that you got to be motivating leaders. You got to be motivating leaders. In other words, encourage them to give their best. You got to encourage them to give their best. Motivation gets them going. You got to motivate them to go. You got to inspire them to grow. I'm going to say that one more time. You got to motivate them to go, but you got to inspire them for them to grow. If you're not inspiring them to grow, it's going to be very hard to motivate them to go. But if all you're doing is motivating them to go, but you're not taking time to inspire them to grow, then you're going to find yourself struggling by getting your team moving and moving into action, moving to bigger and better places, not because the dream isn't possible, not because they don't have the skills, it's because they don't feel like you're inspiring them to grow. This is why I highly encourage you, go to obedmartinez.co, download these notes, teach your people these principles, this content. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you permission to do that. Call it your own. But if you will inspire them to grow, you'll never have a problem motivating them to go. And you got to make sure that you are listening to them by motivating them, but also inspiring them. I love this quote that says this: today is the opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. Today is the opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. Don't wait for tomorrow. Begin today. Begin today by saying, I'm going to be the ultimate team member, committed to building the ultimate team and the dream team. And I'm going to do that by identifying leaders. I'm going to go find them. Understanding leaders. I'm going to connect with them. Attracting leaders. I'm going to invite them to the table. Motivating leaders. I'm going to inspire them to grow. And then number 5, equipping leaders. Train them to be great at their job. Train them to be great at their job. In Ephesians chapter 4, Paul writes, he says, Christ has given apostles and prophets and evangelists, pastors and teachers to the church for this one reason: to equip. To equip. My job as your pastor is not to do the work of ministry. It's to equip you to do the work of ministry. Your job as a leader is not for you to do the job. It's for you to equip them to do the job. You are empowering leaders to become everything they ever dreamed of becoming. And often the one thing it takes is for you to believe in them. Today, we're learning how to build a dream team by being the ultimate team member that sits there and says, I'm committed to growing your life as I am committed to growing mine, in Jesus' name. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you can do me a favor, if you can share this on your multiple platforms, write a thumbs up, man, subscribe to all of our platforms and write and give us a great review. It would help. It would be a blessing. I would so much appreciate that. Well, hey, tonight is Winning Wednesday, and we have fantastic services, 6:30 and 8 o'clock. Pastor Brian is going to be bringing the fuego and the fire. I talked to you on Sunday about the invisible war, and today he's going to go a little bit in depth and talking to you about the armor of God. He's going to break down the pieces. You're going to want to listen, because at the end of the day, what good is it to go to battle if you don't know how to use your battle weapons? And so tonight he's going to give you insight. He's going to give you revelation. Join us 6:30, 8 o'clock tonight. It is going to be absolutely incredible. Well, hey, I love you. I can't wait to see you tonight and then on Friday in Jesus' name. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today on the Obed Martinez Life and Leadership Podcast. If you would like to go deeper into today's teaching, you can do this by downloading the notes and the study guide at obedmartinez.co/notes. You can also sign up to get these sent directly to your inbox. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, rate and review it on iTunes, and don't forget to share it with some friends on your social media. Once again, thank you for joining us weekly on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Life and Leadership with Obed Martinez.